You're sitting at your desk, deep in focus. A screen lights up, a chime sounds, and your hand darts out to grab the phone. To the conscious mind, the sound, the urge, and the physical grab happen simultaneously. This sequence appears as a single, unbreakable event. This perceived immediacy creates a sense that our impulses, like picking up a device or snapping at a coworker, are hardwired instincts. Our reactions feel entirely outside of our control. This animated diagram tracks the 5 distinct layers that execute in rapid succession during that single second. Every moment of experience is an assembly line of these internal processes. Early Buddhist teachings refer to this framework as the 5 aggregates, or the Skandhas. They describe the specific mental steps the brain performs to construct a coherent experience. By separating the moment into these individual parts, we can see exactly where an automatic reaction takes hold. Dismantling the solid block reveals why we behave reactively. Let's freeze the digital interruption. By stretching a millisecond into minutes, we can observe the initial intake of information. The first aggregate is form, raw physical data entering before the mind assigns meaning. It is immediately filtered through the second aggregate, feeling tone. The brain sorts the stimulus into pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral categories, often triggering a spark of pleasant curiosity. This baseline biological evaluation of reward or threat happens beneath conscious thought. Next is the third aggregate, perception. The mind uses pattern recognition to apply a label, identifying the source as a text message. Within a fraction of a millisecond, raw physics has been converted into an emotionally charged mental event. Once the brain has categorized the incoming information, it formulates a response. The intake phase concludes and the output phase begins. This visualization shows the fourth aggregate, mental formations. Using the text message label as a trigger, the brain activates conditioned habits, firing off thoughts and physical urges. This produces physical tension, an involuntary motor impulse to grab the device. Finally, the fifth aggregate is consciousness, the overarching awareness that registers the entire sequence. It notices the sound, the curiosity, and the physical urge. The first 4 steps, receiving light, feeling a tone, recognizing a pattern, and generating an impulse, are passive. Consciousness, however, has the potential to actively observe the entire process. Without this awareness, mental formations drive our actions. We remain reactive to our environment, responding to every impulse as if it were a command. Returning to real time, all 5 steps execute in the time it takes for a screen to light up. Because the first 4 steps process so rapidly, they usually remain invisible. This speed creates the illusion that the final urge is an unavoidable requirement. Observing the urge as one of several components on an assembly line changes your relationship to it. When the impulse is identified as a mental formation rather than a command, it loses its power to dictate behavior. This animated diagram illustrates the creation of space. Mindfulness stretches the timeline between the stimulus and the response, revealing a gap where none seem to exist. This practice does not require the elimination of emotions or physical urges. The goal is to make the entire construction of the moment visible. Understanding the architecture of a moment breaks the chain of automatic reaction. In that space between the chime and the reach, you find the freedom to consciously choose your next move.